assault gun
Full
with me
send it. It's time.
It is time.
Oh, he's sick. We gotta go before we infect Chad.
We have COVID.
Oh,
No,
God.
it's scurvy.
Oh, okay.
Much better.
Yeah.
Is it?
Hey, you just eat an
I
orange.
mean, yeah.
There's no global
No, once you
outbreak
get
of that.
there's a problem when you get to a certain point of scurvy. Eating vitamins don't help you anymore.
Oh yeah, you're already.
Yeah, I mean it's like tetanus or
It's like cancer.
You mean
Oh, really?
If you let it get too far, what are you gonna do? Cut
yeah,
out the whole body?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just full. Just,
Amputate.
You're
Yeah.
just gonna fold it.
yeah.
Fold. If you fold it enough times, eventually you can just find the part where cancer isn't, and you just take it out.
Yeah. Let me tell you right now, that's exactly how it works.
You fold
Take
it.
out the only clean part of the body, leaving cancer behind.
Yeah.
That's called astral projection. Or dying.
No.
Sir, you have cancer in
the soul
98%
is
of your
also-
body. Take out the rest of me. I just know
You realize it came out. There's the only thing not infected.
Take the rest of me out.
That's just Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just take out the only good
So
thing in me,
subjective.
and then the
Open
rest
casket
will-
burial, and they like open the casket. It's just the tooth.
Yeah. It's the only
It was
thing
all-
not
it was all that
infected is
wasn't cancer.
It was this one tooth.
Could you imagine? Is there tooth cancer? There's gotta be.
There's cancer for everything.
No, I don't.
Isn't there?
Maybe.
I think the only cancer that could affect your teeth would be blood related.
No, because there's like tongue cancer.
Yeah, but that's a muscle.
Okay.
It's like
A lot of cancer affects soft tissue. I don't think it affects much hard.
No, there's bone cancer.
No, I know. I just said much.
Oh, really?
This
There's- I don't know if there's any other.
Ram.
I don't know if there's any
That was
other
your
hard
character's name?
thing. I mean, there's cartilage.
I don't
Fingernails.
know what this man
Yeah.
was, but his name is James Ram.
Right.
Yeah.
If I go to
Doubt
the
it.
apartment, I
We'll
can find
find that
pictures.
out.
We don't have a lot of hard
there
stuff
is
on the human
oral
body.
cancer,
Yes, we
We
were discussing.
Oral sex.
which
Oral
just
cancer.
which does
Both.
not seem to affect teeth.
I
I
don't
think it would be
get the
an
impression
is
that a
this
tooth can
Hakumen?
get cancer. I think you
Hakumen?
can get blood
He was
cancer.
born in.
Affect the
I
teeth.
made the
Maybe.
Jujutsu Haku.
Because remember, the center of the tooth.
Well,
is
I mean,
just
then
like
you're
a
then it's
blood.
just your whole body.
Yeah, then you're fucked
Then
anyway.
you just-
More
then you
Wednesday
just got-
anime characters.
Then you're
I
just
was
in
Oh
calling
god, I
you
have,
were,
I have
no,
super
wait, you
blood
weren't-
cancer.
you
My
weren't an
teeth
anime
are
character.
falling
Weren't you
out
like
on
a
top of
WWE
38 other problems.
Remember, we got the first thing that happened was we got kidnapped by goblins and put in a pot in their cave, and we almost got cooked alive.
What the hell are we
What
talking about?
step game are we talking about now?
No, this is a Taylor game.
gotcha.
Where we like we don't want to play this.
No,
we
no,
only
I
need
was an
characters.
anime character because I was Kira Yoshikage.
That's what it was. Yeah, he was Kiryoshi Kage. I was Kamina, and I think it was there was one other person.
Yeah, one of the
Chris?
Was it
Might
Connor?
have been Chris.
Could've been Chris.
No, it was someone. It was someone that like regularly went to Devin's basement.
It was
It-
probably me.
It was an online game,
It was online.
I've got
online D&D.
I got no.
Yeah, I remember too
reasons.
because we had the roll 20, and he just I remember I kept dragging myself out of the
Yeah.
pot into the field. And I'm like, wow, I'm free.
Well,
I just drag it back, and I'm like, no.
I remember because we didn't tell him at first like any of our characters.
No,
like,
we
were
tried to
based off of.
hide it. We're like,
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, can I get images for you guys?" And we're just
oh
like,
yeah, for the pogs on Roll20. He's like, we need images, so you just drag Yoshikage doing the pose, and I just drag over Kamina doing like the arm thing, and it's like, oh, what's your
That's
character's names again? Ha ha ha.
By the way.
Should have asked that first.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
It's okay, we were level 1 and got our ass kicked.
Oh well.
Yeah,
I mean, no surprises there.
Yeah, I got no memories of this if I was there.
That was a good game.
Rock and roll.
One session.
What's
classic.
Oh jeez. Howdy guys.
I mean, it's
I guess should we start?
I mean, are we starting?
We are. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we've
we're
been going.
started.
That whole thing was.
yeah, we started.
We've been going.
Yeah.
We've been going since teeth cancer.
Since TV. Yeah.
That's it. We've been
Casket.
going
All right, you hold
since
on.
cancer.
Okay.
Open cancer.
Sure, let's start. Why not?
Actually, I would actually. I know. I would like to start with you, Glenn, because I know that like you like let's just get it.
My negatives already was the start of the session. Like,
Yeah. We knew.
We know.
It was
We already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, I'm lost. My brain's a little off right now. Yeah, I think that's my negative. It was just that single
Yeah,
thing.
it was just negative. No,
It was all negative.
It was
No.
bad.
I can't. I'm just. Yeah, that's the first thing that's
How
coming
did
to
you
mind.
manage
It
that?
was just we didn't establish anything.
Yeah.
That was like we clearly didn't talk about that. We just the only thing we talked about that ruling before was
Talking
hey,
about it.
what made like we never talked about that. so let's not do it. And I remember it just being like, okay. And then we never brought it up. And then it was just like, surprise, you missed in a melee. Hit someone. And I'm like,
It was like, yeah, we didn't talk about that. Maybe we should, yeah. And then we never.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Just none of us
I don't remember
never
ever anybody saying not. But yeah, the whole point is.
Well, it wasn't that
there's
anyone said yes or no. It's that we never talked.
That's the big.
Yeah,
Nobody said like I said. I don't care if it's in the game. I'm totally fine with it. But
Well, I think that's a great place to start. It's like, well, I mean, if we forgot to talk about that, well, let's talk about it now. Is that something that we care for? Does it add anything really?
I think it's only really useful in like either joke or like really heavily RP scenarios.
Yeah.
Because I now understand how Hayden felt, where he wasn't really invested in the moment during his combat with the skulls. I was.
Yeah.
And for me, getting hit by him was like, oh, more roleplay. Like, I was getting bonked in the head. But now, from my perspective, it was first combat start. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm just getting warmed up. We're just getting into it. And, okay, you miss. You stab the woman you're trying to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got you. So, if it is to be done only for comedic hilarity.
Well, like,
I don't
even
think.
just
I don't think
feel
that
it, yeah.
because that's too hard, right? I think it would just if it's in play. We just have to be aware of it, right? Like, I think the hardest thing is just knowing it's in place, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, two people got blindsided by it, and that's where it feels super weird most of the time.
It was just unexpected. And I was like,
yeah.
But, like, if you know, like, you come in and, like,
Yeah.
shit, I rolled really bad. I'm probably hitting this person. It's easier to role play it out, right? Like, to play it and be like, oh my god, or, you know, stuff like that, right? Like, it's just easier to do.
And maybe in that situation, just have to do, like, have the attack do minimum damage.
Yeah, minimum
because you're
damage.
trying to hold off.
to be fair.
He did minimum.
Yeah.
I can't do it. My maximum was one higher than my minimum.
Yeah.
Which was 1.
Yeah.
And then 2.
But who knows? That extra 1 damage.
It could've
You
killed me.
could have taken her out.
Changed the whole world. Changed the whole world.
Well, how about we
Right
see
now.
where we all
My
stand
final
on it, and then
message.
if we all say yes or no, or we're equal, and we like it's a no or a yes, then we'll go forward.
Yeah, so
we should discuss how it works, so
Yeah.
we all know how.
See,
it works.
I think the problem with that is that, like, hitting an ally in melee is the fact that there's feats centered around it, right? Like you were saying, there's teamwork feats that go, hey, you can make it so if someone misses you, they hit their ally. And I'm like, okay, if there's feats involved, maybe we should do something a little different.
There's only the one feat. There's no other feats.
Right, but there's still a feat involved.
And we did out of the game talk about it for a way that works with certain feats if we do it. Like there's a really easy way to make it so it's not a majority of the time. It would be a rarity. Where
Right.
it's like, oh no, something went wrong. It just kind of adds to the bad. Where it wouldn't like kill anyone or like ruin the fight or like blah blah blah. But if it was not in play, it wouldn't change anything.
Right.
Totally. Like when we talked about it, and Todd, me and Hayden, you didn't really add too much.
Yeah, I think the best thing for natural ones is what we used to do, where there was the like chart of like bad things that could happen. I kind of like that more because then it feels not like the DM going, you will now hit an ally. It's more like, let's see what kind of fuckery happens. Like maybe your sword goes like flying, or like
and then
it breaks.
That adds a lot more diversity too instead of a situation where it's like. Some ones just end up being
better.
like, oh, you break your bow.
Yeah.
Oh, you break your bow.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done
and
the
you
same
always
thing
know,
8
like
times,
in melee, if you roll a 1 now, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be hitting an ally. Okay, I'm gonna be hitting an ally. Fuck. It's gonna be like, what's gonna happen?
So just
And then no one can blame anyone because it's the wheel's fault.
Yeah. So
That's why you roll dice in Magic.
Going back to the missing or hitting an ally after if you miss by more than 5.
Is the microphone on?
Yeah, it should be. No, that's one of the
Okay, that got
cameras
me
here.
scared.
No,
I was
actually, this is actually our little boy here.
It just scrolled up a bit. So we don't
The
see.
rolling.
No, it's
Our
rotate. I meant to say rotate keck, but it's just rotate.
Dude, our rotate sign has sound.
Yeah, we're just talking.
Yeah.
about
Fear.
Yeah, I'm a little lost in why it's got sound.
Because it's a video file. It's like a .avi file.
Okay.
Anyway, but yeah. So do we like it? Is it worth keeping if we're gonna be rolling 1s anyway?
I want the wheel.
Yeah. So no 1 to 5. We'll replace the natural ones with a wheel because it's more hilarious. And,
I prefer
there's
the
more
wheel
options.
honestly because it's simpler and it
We can
eliminates
get a
lot of
real
confusion.
wheel.
Yeah.
We could get a real wheel.
We could do my
The
wheel.
fumble wheel.
I could get the wheel. I could make the wheel.
Yeah.
You know, and
Then we need to get another camera for wheel.
We
Actually,
do need
hold
another
on.
camera.
Hold on.
Wheel cam.
Hold on.
Hold on. I have something right now to do. Okay. Keep talking. I'm gonna make a wheel. It doesn't take long.
Well, I said my piece. Glenn
Oh,
said his. How do you two feel?
jeez. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. How do you feel about the 1 to 5? First of all, the 1 to 5, because we're kind of talking about two different things now.
Oh, I actually get to speak. Okay.
There you go.
Whoa.
There you go.
Just, okay.
What happened?
Just bring up OBS. It's okay. I think we're alive. I think we're still alive.
Yeah, we're still good.
Just
It's
go,
just,
Chris.
it's just like closed itself.
But I haven't spoken, and Chris is gonna take like 30 minutes talking about this one thing.
No,
I'm gonna move over to clerics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you'll talk about
Trying to be in the way of
Or
it.
character.
That's
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah.
Seriously changes the
Yeah,
subject.
really. When it comes to the 1 to 5 thing, I feel like it should be a bit
Oh, we want to hide that.
larger. It's like especially with things, the AC things are gonna go higher, and for most people in the group, our attack. I shouldn't
Okay.
say our, because mine is going to
Now,
go up a little, but for most people in the
now you
group,
can add all the fumbles
their
on that
attacks aren't really going to be going up
And then
to
it's just
scale
Whenever someone
with
fumbles
that.
on.
Yeah.
So that just means that
That's
there's
sick.
going to be more
I'll fill it with that
likely
out.
Yeah, you can close that
instances
for now. It's just
of being hit more.
Yeah. Well, I think. Yeah, that's a good point. If you were to do it that way, you would have to make it 1 to 5 raw roll. So when you
and
roll
instead
1 to
of
5
just
on the
miss-
die, if you were to do it that way, because it's an excellent point.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
When you get to a certain level, fighters would never have it happen. But if, like, say, a rogue throws a bad attack, or like the mage wants to stab somebody,
Or
it's
the
going to happen
clerics
to them
in
more
melee.
often than not. Yeah.
It's like,
Or I make the 33 AC murder machine now.
Yeah, then it doesn't make any sense.
But that's
yeah,
a- yeah,
right,
like,
then-
you
you
look
look
at
at
it that
we're
way.
gonna buff the hell out of me.
If
Turn me
you
into
were to
AC
do it on
machine.
dice, where it's like, oh, when you rolled too low,
Or
you
just hand-
get to hit somebody,
just
it
hand
has
all
to
my
be a
potions
raw
off to
number
somebody, make them an AC.
to make it
Doesn't
work
matter.
so it affects everyone equally.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do 1 to 5. I feel like 1 to 5 is still fairly high. That's like almost
it's a
a
1 in 4.
25%
Yeah,
chance.
quarter of
Yeah,
the time you roll
time.
your die, you're gonna.
I'd say
hit
1 to
somebody.
3 is.
I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing.
1 to 3
If
is
we
a
were
bit
gonna do that. But
For what?
sorry,
For
go
like-
yeah.
just,
you-
like,
Just
Okay.
discussing if we did the rolling
Oh,
system,
hitting the thing.
like there's a lot of things you have to figure out to make it fair for everybody.
Yeah,
The other thing is if it's affecting us, it affects him.
Yeah.
So you have to think about it. So it, like we thought of a way that it would come up very little, but if we're not going to do it, there's no point in discussing it because it take like half an hour.
So ultimately, what is your
And the only real issue I have with it, which or to kind of discuss with the wheel, is that it was pretty much the same thing as if you just rolled a 1 and like, oh, you accidentally hit somebody. But if we bring in the wheel, and that's no longer really an issue.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
like
all
the
right,
wheel.
1 is the wheel, and then this is
Yeah,
that.
it's one of these random
That,
effects.
I like that.
I
That
like
that
that.
way you don't have something that has stupid high AC, which is one of the many mechanics in the game that revolve around hitting and being hit.
yeah.
And just because its AC is high, it now gets an extra added bonus that wasn't intended.
Yeah.
Right?
Or even
Or
vice
just-
versa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just giving that making that a thing makes AC more important than other things like HP and stuff. Because suddenly you can become like you get free disables if you have a high AC.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up a good point. If you were doing it, you can't do the system of you miss by 5.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
I think
it's so different all over
Yeah.
the place. You
Yeah.
have to make it a consistent thing.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh, you rolled 1 to 3 on the die. There you go. That because that's an
Yeah,
excellent point of if it is, oh, he has 38 AC. Everybody's rolling below 5 of that.
Yeah.
Wow, look,
Yeah.
you're literally killing each other, and that's it.
All these expert fighters in melee
that
against
was
the
pretty
giant
good.
storm are
That's a
going.
good point.
But so are you
Its
for
skin
it
is big.
again? Like
I'm like sure.
It's tough
Like
skin.
I'm
so you
pretty
stab
kind of
your
neutral
friend.
about it so long as it's implemented right.
yeah.
Because like it's just a scenario of you want to try throwing in
glad
a
you're
new
asked.
rule.
I like that. It's funny.
What?
I think it's funny that he's asking you, "Hey, are you okay with it?"
I
I'm
was the
going
first
around
one
asking.
asked before like the whole
I
thing,
know,
and
I think it's funny.
But
just
I think it's
what's your thought on it? And then like the whole spiel, and I'm just like
crazy.
yeah, I'm
Sorry, what?
Yeah,
I didn't get that part.
oh let's see,
So there I was.
but yeah no like, I'm
A neutral.
but yeah like yeah if it's something you want to implement like sure go for it like fucking I've implemented a bunch of just kind of odd new rules in my games before too. Just wanted to see how they worked. Felt that they might add something. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. So go
Water
for it.
combat.
So is that a plus on you? You're like sure.
If it's the wheel on a nat 1, yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
think
that
that's fun.
for sure.
Fun as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no for the like 1 to 3.
No,
hit somebody, yeah.
because that's again that's like a new mechanic that changes
It's
things.
weird,
Because
yeah.
like gunslingers, they have a 1 to 2 misfire on their guns because they have a really powerful weapon that hits on touch. Like that's ridiculous. So they give them an added crit failure. Right now, their gun can pretty much blow up in their hands.
Yeah.
Right. It's new technology or whatever.
Yeah.
So it just makes weapons suddenly are like, oh, now if you hit a 1 to 3 you make a mistake. It's just kind of like it makes sense if it was like a depowered game or something where like, everyone's like really weak or new at sword fighting, and you're fumbling more. But I don't know.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
No, totally. So again, plus on the wheel, nix on the.
I'm not really for like a 1 to 3 third person.
Hans.
The person that affects the most is the only melee fighter in the group. I would like it to just be natural ones.
Fair.
Because,
Yeah.
it's a little poopy, I think.
They're like, I'm a little biased. Yeah, but no.
As the melee fighter, and I'm 2 of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would prefer not
Makes sense.
hitting myself and myself.
Yeah, for sure.
No, especially not yourself.
Well, I already
since you
said
don't
I'm
know
good.
unconscious.
I think the wheel is the better choice. I'm fine with either.
Oh, yeah.
But the wheel is the better choice.
Well, then we'll just have a wheel for ones, and then
I like the wheel. It
I like
adds
that.
more fun. It adds a bit of surprise.
Yeah, it's
instead
an
of just-
interaction with the.
Yeah, it's a potential for interactions, and it really takes away from the whole. Oh wow, DM, you just screwed me on a 1 because you're. Why? Like bad situations like that where that could happen. Because it happens sometimes.
totally. Yeah, that's just it.
Do you mind
Sweet.
just pulling that camera away from the table?
Oh, this
It's
one.
just- it's just
touching.
touching the
You
table,
don't want
getting
them
bonked.
touching. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the
just
table
getting
moves
bonked.
a lot.
But yeah,
It's
sweet.
every stream.
Hey,
So
I
is
did
my
this one
camera
I'm
too.
trying.
Who's
I'm
me?
trying.
Why am I always in the earthquake?
because you're an earthquake.
But
Yeah.
what's your plus and what you want to see more of?
Yeah, we'll go back to that.
Microwave.
Restarting.
I want to see more microwaves.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know. My brain is kind of fried. Honestly, I can't remember much of what happened.
We can circle back around if that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do that.
for sure.
'cause I just,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
My mind is
Back
like
around.
I
scrambled.
guess we'll just.
I've been busy.
Yeah, we'll talk about other things. Maybe it'll spark something in your brain.
It will.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. I'm
So,
just like,
my plus is that I was very happy that we got answers to things like why there's more monsters. The ancient horrors have been awoken. That is nice.
Yeah.
I personally don't really have a negative for the game. Kind of like it was just a lot of talking and a lore dump at us. Not a whole lot happens. I think the Baron's a little bitch.
I remembered my actual negative now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, I
And-
remember the game now.
Yeah, all right.
Something like the Zimaro, just I could steal things from what Chris was gonna say to Cucka.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Nah, just more, just more.
More D&D.
Like, come on. I have time to do things other than D&D. Disgusting.
Every night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Totally.
Positive is probably the fact that the game kind of giving some answers was good. A little bit of it feels like the game's headed in a direction that I can understand as a character now, which is better. Role playing, I liked the role playing opportunities. That was really nice. It was a big lore dump. I wouldn't say that's a negative or a positive. Just you had to do it, and it is what it is, right? But they're naturally exhausting. So, negative. My negative was definitely at the beginning of the game when I cast Sleep on the Baron, and he suddenly was level 5.
So
It's fine. Your explanations, I get it. You messed up, but in my opinion, if a DM fucks something up like that, he should take the L.
No. He fucked up the last time we played.
Yeah,
because
that's what
he
I'm
was-
saying.
He was supposed to be
No,
above.
that's what I'm saying though. If a DM fucks up with something like that, he should take the L because he fucked up.
But he said that at the end of the last session was he wasn't, you weren't supposed to be able to sleep him. He said that in our
Yeah,
in
but
our
that
minus-
doesn't change what I'm saying. I'm saying he should still take the L because he decided he not decided to fuck up, but he fucked up. Like if I roll a character as an NPC and then I mess something up, I don't make it stronger so the players can't do things. I leave it as is.
Nobody.
No,
He was initially supposed to be level 5.
Yeah.
I get that. That's what I'm saying. Is he messed up the HD count when I was casting sleep, right?
Yes, and then he told you in the after game, and then in the new game you cast sleep.
That's what I'm saying. Is he should have taken the L and just let, because I forgot you mentioned that at all. Because as far as my brain went, was you said that once, I totally forgot. But I cast sleep on him 3 different times.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know. That's there's a little bit of, I think that's just a little bit of both of us forgetting something is really what it comes down to.
Zoom in on that. With Robbie. As DJ Robbie D.
So it's good, y'all.
Fuck it. Okay, I'm. He said it. I'm.
Hey, but
Yeah. So.
I'm not in a.
Some smoked grass.
So anyway, I started blasting.
started blazed.
So your positive was RP story heavy. The whole shit.
Oh.
What do you want to see more of?
Oh yeah.
I don't smell it.
I could just steal Chris's right now.
Let me tell you, there'd be a whole lot of I don't have anything.
Well, the problem is, like, I have the same one as you, kind of. Slightly different.
Say it.
Well,
Do it.
we'll just
I'll just say it.
He has to think of a new one.
So,
Perish.
Well, you don't.
I want to see more... No, you know what? I'm going to word it differently. You might be able to salvage this, Chris. I want to see more story related to our characters.
Ah, yes.
No, okay.
I want to see my character story flesh out. Definitely. That's what I want to see. And that's not a negative. That's literally just, I want to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. No, I was. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was literally thinking about that like yesterday, and I was like, I made a new checklist for myself that I go through, that I'm going through now at the beginning, like long before our session on the day. Just like remember these things. That's one of those things that
That's
I'm.
definitely a good idea.
Yeah, right. It's because sometimes you get carried away with whatever's just happening, and then you're like, then it's like, oh right, they have this whole like deep, interesting character.
Yeah,
that,
there's
that
all
they
these
should
things
wanna,
that I forgot
that
about.
they should have
Stupid life get in the way of D&D. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, so that's a very good point.
More character
this
stories
stupid wife.
developing.
Sweet.
She
Yeah.
commandeered me ship. I can't make it to D&D, boys.
She took me Paris.
Just go. She took me pants.
Just go. Just interrupt.
Yeah.
That just makes
your
it
hand
worse because they won't. No one stops when I try to speak.
Send it.
So it's just more voices. Yeah. So positive, like
Yeah.
I don't like sound like a broken record, but yeah, it really just has to be what they said of getting answers.
Yeah.
For a negative, the lore dump, that was neat and all, kind of getting at understanding things, but it felt like you wanted us to like really kind of latch on and sympathize with the Baron when he's talking about how, humans are oppressed, when he's talking to Orc, very rare elf, halfling, gnome, and the only humans we've ever interacted with are in higher up positions. Our mayor is a human. We've interacted with no other humans other than them and him, the Lord.
Your dad was a human.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. But the problem is,
All right,
like,
we never interacted
yeah,
with
when
him.
was the last time he was here? Right?
Just like I didn't even know.
And to be fair, you never told me that.
Yeah.
He
and-
mentioned stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, he's like talking about all this stuff, and it's like, how like, I'm supposed to feel bad that you're in a much better position in life than us, and you
you're
don't
ruining
like
our
it. Yeah, and you're. It's like I really did not find. I didn't think there was like actually like a reason to kind of care. Like Hayden kind of said, like it was just him kind of whining. It sounded like. It's like yeah, it sounded like this is very important, but I don't think it was done in a very kind of good way, in my opinion. Something I'd like to see more of. I kind of briefly touched on it with Hayden before we started, and I think a good way to put it is more like downtime, because it feels like the last several games have just kind of been go, 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 go. and just like there hasn't really been a whole lot of time to actually kind of like sit down. Okay, what is the plan? Instead of okay, we gotta go stop the bandits. Okay, now the bandit leader is on his way down. Okay, we gotta go down there. All right, this big battle happened. Okay, now we have to go find out if what he's saying is true. Okay, now we gotta go to the archaeology dig. I mean, yeah, before we had to go find the bandits. It was okay, we gotta go to the archaeology dig to help the bandits. All right, do that. Have to go to the bandits, get jumped by the bandits. It's like there's no the time to like, okay, let's process this. What's happened? Where do we go from here?
I'm kind of okay with it. I think that it'd be good if we could have downtime to when we are leveling. Like when we need to tap that inner power.
Yeah, tap into our
Maybe
Yeah,
we should
tap
have
into
some
that
time
inner
to
power.
maybe take a break and tap into that inner power.
I
could
think
just
that's fair,
not do
but
this.
I feel like that's more just because there's a bunch of things happening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because we have, like, there was the bandits, there was the goblins, there was the archaeology dig, there was the mayor, there was
The
like,
army.
and the army. There was just, like, a lot at once. I'm not saying that to color your opinion, but that's just how I feel about it. I think a good way to put it is, like, it was a lot at the same time. Would have been nicer to maybe one or two things at the same time, just moving forward, but... Because it definitely, I like the urgency. I think that's good.
I think it was good.
Definitely not all the time. I definitely don't want 100% urgency every game, but...
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with urgency.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with the urgency yet. In fact, we complained that it wasn't enough before.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the opposite. I just feel like, in some ways there was a lot of things at once, and it really was hard to be like, we have an adventure. It was like, what the hell's going on? That's how I felt as a character, at least. I can't speak for everyone, but I kind of really felt like there was just way too much.
Well, I mean, like a good example of the there's a lot going on was that, like, you just forgot last game that there was the crazy eye statue in the
in the
goblin
eye
hole
statue.
found.
I forgot about that
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I completely
Same
forgot.
thing as the
Yeah,
archaeology.
like we didn't have any time to even like think about that. It was bat. There's been like no time for us to be like, what was with that? What is these eye gems? Oh, that's right. We need to go find the eye gems that you saw that you haven't mentioned that you saw at all because
I forgot
we
about
haven't had a time to be
Yeah,
like.
Yeah, I think the problem is that there's no agency around it, right? It's not our choice to go and check these things out. It's like we have to get this thing done.
Then you know what? That actually really is.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Things are just happening at us. They're not happening.
Yeah,
Kind of
it doesn't
to
feel like
Because
we've
of
chosen
you.
to go and
Yeah.
check out the eye statue thing. It's like we have to.
Yeah.
Like, all right, the only okay, we have to get this Baron's thing, no matter what, has to go down there.
Yeah, I think it's the has to part. Because, like, I don't think it's bad to have random things, but I think it's when it's only random things, it's hard to latch on. Like the eyeball thing. I forgot that even happened with the goblins. That Hayden mentioned.
Yeah,
I totally forgot that.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't mention now. I
Yeah.
did.
I completely forgot that happened because
I forgot
it
until
was out
you
of
told
nowhere,
me in
but-
game when I was like, is there even an entrance into the thing? And you're like, yeah, you saw the eye sock thing. And I'm like, oh, right, the underground lake thing, right. Like, just, even when I was like, we need to find a way in there. I'll blow a hole in the way. It was like, all right, whoops. Yeah, it just, I think it's just things are hasta and not wants to.
Well, mind you, they have slowed down a bit, which is good. I mean, with this game, we completed one of them. So
Now that bandit, I've
one thing,
yeah.
half ticked off.
Like I said, when Hades
Yeah.
was doing his thing, I
Chris.
Yeah,
But you gotta
yeah.
let Chris finish up.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty done with the positive minus and some to see more, but just some I think these kind of be brought up was also some that we kind of talked to me on our ramen trip. And I believe Hayden put it where it's it seems like the setting or theme of the game is much different than what was initially believed. Where, when you first talked to us about the game, it felt more of it was supposed to be like this coming of age kind of deal of just a bunch of young adventurers just going off in the world, and now it's this serious wartime political intrigue, and I'm just sitting here like my country bumpkin doesn't
Not
feel
built
like
for
a
this.
good fit for this kind of theme.
Yeah, I can reiterate the whole feeling as like I have any place in the story at the moment with the bandit thing specifically. I can't say about anything else because we don't know yet, but that whole thing going on, I did have that kind of thing like I don't really care about this guy or what he's doing.
Yeah,
it's just
I
the
get
problem of
I
the
get it. I'm a cool
effectiveness.
main character. You
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah.
to tailor your game around me.
Not that I think we made a bad character. I just more think it didn't suit some of, or at least the feel, like Chris said, of the coming of age. Because I very much thought from like game one to a couple games later that it was like about us as a group, more or less, like our characters.
because you wanted us to have backstories, you wanted us
Yeah,
to like,
oh,
have
yeah.
a reason to adventure, and it was like, okay, you know, we kind of have our own things going on, and there wasn't a huge amount going on in town. There wasn't a big thing. It was just like, oh, the bandits have taken away a daughter. That sounds like a minor little thing, right?
And I'll be fair for me specifically. You asked me, what's my character's kind of like going on? And I told you I don't really have one outside of stopping the bandits. It's like I'll be fair on like there's what are you gonna do with that? I just told you I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But-
you know, stories, it's
Yeah.
both parties. It's player and
Yeah.
DM. It's not just on the DM.
But yeah, like, again, that's in fairness for specifically my part of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, Devin's pretty much in, at least I think, in the same category of that country bumpkin kind of
country bumpkin
thing.
Ooh, political stuff I know very little
Which-
about and frankly don't
which-
care about.
But when it comes to the politics, conveniently, we've got a couple of characters who could fit in for that, but
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
really fit.
I'm not
I
super-
could.
Yeah, he could. But he
Yeah.
doesn't really fit.
Yeah, but just just as as a whole, it just seems a bit odd.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
I think, a fair thing to add is that I don't think it's, like, if it was the story you planned for, that's cool. I think it's just, there's nothing leading up to it, really. Like, it doesn't feel like we as characters has experienced anything the Noble was talking about. Particularly. Like, we never, like, saw humans in the town being abused, or we never saw, like, humans having plights, or, you know, people complaining about their lifestyle. 'cause
Yeah,
of
we never
humans.
met like the
Or-
nomads before they were bandits.
Yeah,
Or-
there's no little things to be like, oh, this is what's going on. Sorry, guys.
Or even told, I mean, no need to apologize. I was kind of butting into what you were saying, but like, or even being told like beforehand, like you did with the elves, that humans are kind of like the lower class. Like you told us that elves are like this rarity, like it's super rare to see them. So the fact that my brother's an elf, my dad's an elf, and now we've met another elf.
Yeah. So it's like, ooh. But yeah, like, I don't know, humans haven't been present, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't really been existed, to us at least. So,
Yeah, I mean, like
it's hard to connect with, right?
Yeah, like I said, the only humans we've met are the mayor, his daughter, and the Lord.
Yeah. And my dad.
And that flows into my negative, my actual
Yeah,
negative,
well, like
because
what,
that rule we all kind of were like,
Yeah. It was
Um,
kind of mean.
was harping on the bandit leader, and on that is the bandit leader in the entire time we were playing the game was eyeing up to be big mean bad guy who was bandit leader, right? And then the fact that he was going to be the mayor, I'm like, oh, he's going to be like a dirtbag. But then now this session we learned that he's a good guy and he doesn't do anything bad and he's just trying to fight for his people and you're making him sympathetic. It felt super awkward because the whole time we're like we gotta kill him. We have to like stop his reign. And now it's like, okay, now we have to like where's our villain? Who's our I was planning this guy to be the bad guy, and now it's like now it feels like I'm forced to sympathize with him, and it doesn't feel like we were saying, it doesn't feel like natural. Like we have no reason to believe the humans are having problems because they're up here being bandits. They're chilling, you know. Like the kid we just took into the town, he was nice and he was fine. He didn't smell bad. He didn't have rotten teeth. He wasn't, living on the edge. He just seemed like, oh, you caught me. Guess I'm gonna dress in a maid outfit now, right? Like it didn't. Even this other guy who was just a random dude was like just really chill and he's just nice and he's chatty, and like the U-turn. It felt like a totally unnecessary sympathize-y, and it was like kind of stifled things in my opinion. That's what it felt like.
Fair enough.
I don't know. That
No, I
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive was I like the role playing. I really like the opportunities we were given to like just chat with people and like do things around each other, especially because role playing with other players is always fun. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that stuff's really good.
Cool. Yeah, and it's like it's a matter of balance. Balancing what is being done and like I don't know, creating the narrative, right? And it's it's just a matter of
I think that ties into the want and need too, because just thinking about it. Sorry to interrupt. but like how we were saying, we want to do we should want to do things, but instead we need to do these things. Is same with like him being the villain. I wanted him to be the bandit guy that we fight, right?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted because we're like we're gonna go kill him and stuff.
Yeah.
But now because he doesn't have any negative qualities other than trying to make you look like you stole a ring.
Well,
I think that's different for each character.
he's
to be
still
fair. Yeah.
fairly.
Because like you see him sympathetically, my character sees him as an absolute piece of
Yeah,
crap.
he's still a bad guy.
Right,
Like,
but the thing is,
We're doing that thing.
he himself is like.
Yeah, he's trying to seem like a
Yeah. And the problem with that
I get
is
that.
is now we need to kind of work with him instead of wanting to, right? Like we don't none of us really want to work with him,
yeah.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
We kind of need to because he has ties with the town, and he it's like, and if we don't, we'll have trouble with the city, and I don't know.
I think that's more of a your character thing, honestly. My character doesn't see it that way because he's just none of it makes sense to him, right? From his point of view, it's just this guy's bad. He sucks. He should go away.
right.
Yeah. Like I get what you're saying. It makes perfect sense for your character.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Glenn on this because Golgar feels like we need to do this before his mom kills the fucking lord, the noble. We need to find the evidence that he's a bad man to justify what they're going to do if we don't do this soon enough.
And we didn't know any of this before this session, before talking to him. So it feels like before it was like, yeah, I want to kill him. Like, and if we kill him, he's just a bandit. Oh no, right? He's the leader of bandits. We'll just kill him. That's literally what I thought.
Yeah.
And then suddenly all the info came at us all at once, and now it's like, oh, he has ties with the town and all this stuff, and it's like, it really just kind of like if I had time to sympathize with him, it would feel more natural maybe, but now it just feels like, it feels kind of icky.
Yeah, there's no like prep work for that idea, right? Like nothing really. Like there was never a moment where the bandits were like, or I don't even know. I can't think of an example necessarily, but there was never moments, at least from my point of view as a character, where we had a reason to doubt that he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Up until that game.
Yeah. Even when they saved Chris, he put a ring on him and went thief, right? Like.
Yeah, like
in
that's
the
a
middle
scummy
of
thing to do.
Yeah,
snowy blizzard.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, we still need to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just yeah. I had a point. Now I've lost it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt like I mean, I don't. Jesus, that was I just lost whatever I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a bad character. I just think it just there was no homework to leading up to what happened effectively. At least from our point of view as characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like the game shifted to political intrigue heavy away from the adventureness we were having before. Because before it was like, adventure, bandit boss, okay, adventure. And now it's like, backstory. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you kind of planned for the backstory stuff that's already happened. I just think, like I'm saying, it doesn't feel like me as a character ever saw a moment where I went like, oh yes, this man might be more than a bandit lord until he was more than a bandit lord suddenly.
And also, just the shift from he's this bandit lord to like it's such in-depth kind of detail about what's going on. Just the huge lore dump is just a lot to kind of digest and process. Like in the middle of it, when you and Glenn were kind of role playing out, I was checking out. My energy was gone. Like this is a lot.
Well, lord dumps can be tiring. That's fine.
I liked it, but
Personally, I liked it.
I wasn't prepared for it.
Well, no, I wouldn't say
I wasn't
liked
expecting it. So like it was fun to like just go like I'm taking it, I'll take it, and my character was enjoying it. But like out of game, it was like, oh, okay, this is a different game than what we were playing before, right?
Very tonal shift.
Yeah,
Very tonal shift.
yeah, like you guys were saying, country bumpkin adventure, help the village to now save the empire and stop the nomads or find the true heirs, and it's like
Make an opinion on a
it's
revolution.
like,
and
I'm
it's like,
level 3.
I don't care about this.
I had to fight to be level 3.
I want this inner power.
It's like I feel the potential welling up, and I need to fight in order to.
I need a release.
Yeah.
I could die tomorrow feeling the potential but never realizing it.
So then I guess the question is are you okay with the direction that it's going? And should things be adjusted?
We'll do a circle again. It'll be easier that way.
Ah, yes, priority.
Or how, because things should be adjusted, but how?
I would like to have a split second for Chris's opinion.
That was a great moment.
You two don't understand, but it's okay.
It looks funny.
It was good.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Anyway.
God, you're a fool for not knowing.
I'm assuming it's your stream.
No.
No, it's just a terrible, terrible joke.
Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, let's see. So again, I think it just makes sense. Honestly, if this is the direction you want to take it, it's fine. I just think it needs to be done a bit more subtly or gradually instead of just this is it now, and it's like
Which kind of goes back to the point that we had made a couple of these sessions ago of people, not you, but just being told that it didn't feel like there was enough going on.
But the problem is now there's too
much.
Overstimulation.
Over-adjustment.
I think what we meant by that, at least in my opinion, would be things like, like maybe there's problems over here that we need to go and solve, that we have options, like for some reason the farmers' crops are always burning, or this or that, and we're like, oh, that's interesting, let's choose to go investigate, instead of this fucking hammer fist of lore comes smashing into the town and goes, if you don't deal with me, you will be, and it's like, oh fuck, right? Again, I think that again goes back to the want versus need. These problems need to be solved, or we will be in jail or dead. Yeah. Or the town will be gone.
Yeah, or the town will be gone.
And it's like, holy fuck, Jesus Christ, we need to deal with this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it just feels like, too much. It's like
too much too fast.
Yeah.
It definitely needs to be gradual.
Yeah, like before when we were going to go deal with the bandits, it felt good because it's like, oh, there's bandits hiding out in the outskirts. We have to go and deal with them.
Well, yeah, so sorry to cut you off. A really good example was when we were going to the bandits, and on our way to the bandits, we saw the fort, and we're like, we should go there at some point. And there's these weird monoliths, things we could do at some point. We don't need to do, but we can.
Yeah. Those always, I liked all of that. That was interesting because it was like, oh, it's there, but it's not in my face, telling me you have to do this. It's like it's there and it's probably important, and if you ignore it, that's not good. But you don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, I think there's a time for when things have to be done. Like obviously when the bandit, when someone shows up in town and it's a problem, but it just feels like all the problems are coming to us directly instead of going I think it started just when the bandit boss, when Chris rolled the one on the survival and he intervened and saved his life, and it's like everything seems to just come to us, and it's like
as opposed to you going to them.
Yeah, because
it's not an adventure; it's a story happening at us.
Yeah,
right?
it's a book.
Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah, because he gets intervened, saved by the bandit boss. We go and find out the bandit boss is owning our town, that we're staying in. It's like, oh fuck, we never knew that. And then we go to assassinate the bandit boss, and he has a trap set up at his home for us, and it's like, what the fuck? Everything is here. Everything is here. Yeah. And not only is this bandit boss the bandit boss that is owning the town and is trying to stop the town, but no, he's the fucking lineage of the last superhumans that's ancient lore is in the archaeology dig that he needs. If he just gets that, he can prove that he owns the kingdom and forever will be the king, and he will bring humanity up from the rungs. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that is a good
I'm
point.
level 3!
Stop! It did go like,
it's a little ramp. It's like, straight up the wall, man.
You know, JRPGs, when they set you up at level 1, when you're fighting,
Who's a JRPG bad guy?
When you're fighting,
and that's why I hate him, because at first I'm like, I hate this guy, and he's like, sad backstory, and I'm like, fuck you.
I am a country bumpkin.
You stole my villain from me.
I wanted to kill you. Now I have to fucking sympathize with you. I have to have human feelings. Change my alignment to chaotic evil because I'm killing this guy.
And execute
What do
it.
you mean change?
Yeah, if I do that.
That's how you list the character sheet.
Yeah, if I do that thing I was primed to do,
So-
I'm the bad guy.
So
Yeah.
that's still how
We're not done.
how would we? Well, no, but it begs the question. Is like
I think
how
pulling it back-
how can we adjust it now?
I think pulling
It's where it's at.
It's where it's at. Keep it where it's at. I don't want to
yeah.
change
I think you
lore
brought
and
it
stuff.
to a good spot.
I think pulling back and remembering that, like, hey, make these things we should go and seek instead of them coming to us.
Yeah.
Like, these are all ideas. They don't have to be a thing, but like maybe the nomads are down in the south and we can go to them to ask about their plights. And like maybe we see nomads congregating somewhere and we're like, we ask them, hey, what's going on, or something like that. And maybe some archaeologists come to us and be like, there's something happening at the dig, some new thing, and we're like, oh fuck, a new thing, whatever it is, a thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh shit. What up? Or maybe not a whole army comes through, but an army scout comes through and says, scratch that thing that you needed to go to. Don't go there. Bad. And we're like,
They're all dead.
what do you mean?
What?
Why do you not want? I thought you wanted us to be recruited.
Yeah.
Now you don't. What's going on?
Yeah.
Instead of army shows up again and goes, we don't need you anymore. Look, we fight another army, and then they kill all the nomads or something. It's like, we don't need that.
Show up and they bring on the.
Yeah, and then
lore of
the
the
Oblivion gates open. Ah! No.
that's
Yeah.
a good
God, no.
Yeah. Again, just like I think just putting like having set pieces and letting us choose which ones we want to interact with.
Yes.
Because that
Right there,
those are my
that right
favorite
there.
things. That's what I try and do as a DM a lot, is just putting things down and being like, all right, now the players can find out which ones they want to interact with the most, and then I'll flesh out whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they went to the dwarven mine. All right, now I'm gonna do some more work on the dwarven mine. Okay, what's deep in the dwarven mine? Why was the dwarven mine built? Okay, because that way you don't have to write a whole world and every little detail about it, and then you're not
that is the way you do it,
stressed.
yeah.
You can
You write
adapt
ideas,
you can
and
adapt
then-
the game to what the players do.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about D&D. I think.
It's your choose your own adventure book, but
Yeah.
you don't have to do any of the work.
Yeah,
you do the work when you pick the adventure.
Yeah, you open the book and you read the first paragraph and it says flip to this page for this page, and there's like 6 options and you flip to them and there's only 1 page written of each.
Yeah.
But then if you keep reading, it adds more and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point of just move forward and give us a little more control as players to just choose things to do rather than have everything thrown at us. I think.
Yeah.
Because
was
almost
going
everything has been thrown at us, and I think another cool thing to add on to my see more of is maybe incorporate some of our stories into little things you think should be a part of the story, right?
Yeah.
Which is
And it doesn't have to be a lot.
That's
And I
something
think
that
that
I'm
should
yeah.
take precedence over a random thing that we have no connection
For
to.
sure.
Yeah. Because then a character can go, yes, and that's way easier to be invested in than there's an obelisk in the ground. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, not
Yeah.
as an example of what you did wrong, but you didn't, but
There's obelisk of
Yeah,
the obelisk was
that,
I'm waffling.
that shows that someone touches it, things happen. Touch, nothing happens.
Well, it was when people hung around them.
No, something did happen. I saw detect magic.
Ah,
Nobody else saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
But something did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Credit.
obelisk.
Give him credit. Something happened.
Then I retract that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the-
Something did happen.
The only times where we saw something random that didn't really have a lot to do,
That
that
was a skeleton.
Flaming
yeah,
skeleton.
that was the only that
I'm sure you have your reasons.
that and the goblin skulls. It was just the fact that we talked about the fact that magic things were very rare, and then suddenly we're seeing them a bunch. But still, we're still probably like, what the fuck was that? Maybe we should go investigate. That wasn't something that should happen,
That's not normal.
right? Like that. I think that's cool. Even small stuff like that is super interesting.
Yeah, stuff like that is cool, actually. It's really random and nonsensical sometimes, and that's fine. If we take
Carol.
Hi.
Oh, hey, Carol. To add to it,
Yeah.
when the player chooses not to interact with some of your initial hooks, that plot don't have to stop and freeze. That hook can progress vaguely in the background. Yeah, and so that's
Exactly.
another thing
Yeah.
that is happening as well, right?
Yeah, of course. Like, if we choose to ignore a quest line that you've shown us multiple times, have bad things happen for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
If we as a party go,
Yes.
I don't care about this noble who keeps telling me we need to help him with his cause and leave, and the next thing we know, a town's gone, and we're like,
What do you mean the evil wizard's performing a ritual?
Yeah, what do you mean
I
there's a
don't
lich lord
care.
running through the lands now? What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean it worked? Why didn't anyone stop it?
Yeah, I personally love stuff.
Yeah.
I think
Or-
that stuff's great.
A really cool thing, a thing I like doing as a DM is if, especially if it's not important, right? It's not like danger, need to be done, or like bad consequences if it doesn't get happen. Is you can always just take ideas that the players didn't interact with and just move them.
And
It's
it can
not
be
like
good.
anything has to be static. Like these nomads in the south. Just as an example, you can be like, oh, wow, they're nomads. Now they're somewhere else. Who knew? Like, or the city, even like the capital. We're like, it's in the west. We've never established how far west. It could be a month. It could be a week. It could be a couple days, or it could be a fucking year. We don't know. It doesn't matter. You can just move it. You just, who cares? Or like, just stuff that doesn't get established. Since D&D's so floaty, you can just kind of like, ooh. Oh, this guy that they didn't talk to who was going to be super cool. This NPC I made a bunch of shit for. I think Chris does this a lot. Which is a brainiac move.
yeah.
Oh, I made this super cool NPC that the players didn't interact with. I'll just put him there now.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
they don't have specific locations. They're there. This is
Yeah.
just write like a little blurb. Somebody will remember like this is their objective.
yeah.
Just never forget that once you do it, it's happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always weird when a DM does that, and then the next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, what? why is this happening?
Yeah, or just find a reason for them to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good
It's not like
reason.
people are static.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean
Yeah.
literally, but I mean like
Totally.
Like an example, capital is here.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh yeah, now the capital's over there. It's like,
Oh well.
unless there's a good reason.
Yeah.
And
If you show a map,
Yeah, have your map work.
yeah. But if you didn't put a key on that map, sneaky.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't say how far those distances were. Now they're 4,000 kilometers.
The other cool,
once
thing, the other
that's
cool thing
established.
about that, if you want to go real poggers, is have different versions of the map because it's old timey and people sometimes
Oh,
make
yeah,
different
that's the other
versions of
thing.
maps.
Yeah.
It's the other
Yeah.
thing.
Happens.
Some people.
Oh, by the way, our new scribe's actually a wizard, and he flew into the sky and drew this map, so it's much more accurate. Look, and you're like, this looks way different.
But he tried telling us the world was round, so we hung him.
And little did we remember, he actually could fly. So when we hung him, he just flew away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, we put
He
him
hung
down
himself
on-
upside down.
So we're gonna hang you.
Yeah.
Pulls the thing. He's just still. What?
What did you think?
Did
would
you
happen?
think this would work?
This reminds me of the Western game when they hung
my
my
God.
robot.
Oh,
He has to serve for his original crime, and I just, as a contract, sat there for a week in a noose.
Yeah.
When the week was done, they just let me go.
You're like, I guess he served a sentence.
It's like, you know what? Like we did the thing.
That was funny.
It happens.
Pretty
This was his punishment, and he did it.
When you
I
were a
guess.
robot.
You a robot.
But I think from the
undead.
gist of everything, it's just do more to get the players to go to things and not have everything go to the
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
Things
Just let us
that-
interact.
There are inciting incidents that are, like
Let-
that's
let
what a hook is.
Jesus,
but
take the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give us
But
more
yeah.
opportunity to interact.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
perfect.
Skirt.
Bull? I'm saying hi to Carol.
Oh,
Carol's
it's a
sweet.
9.
We could do like Able.
Yeah, we could do a bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the bull?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
hear
Right.
it.
Bowl.
Yeah,
I'll get the bull.
yeah, 'cause the
About
first
three.
half. was
Oh
like a
right,
half,
I
second
didn't
half was like
even
a
I didn't
half.
even think about that.
What?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think you want that.
No, you don't
No,
get to
no,
have
that-
that.
that's
It's too late. The time's passed.
What
Oh,
happened?
no,
What
that's-
is
I'm
happening?
fine.
No, wait.
No, you.
No, I
His
literally
plus
don't
and minus.
know. Oh yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah,
plus
no,
one.
do
I
yours,
wasn't even
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of
And
it.
when do you want to see more
The
of?
thing we established like
Yeah,
the
tell us how to
second
play
or
our
third stream, and
characters.
then never
Okay, sorry,
again.
Kara said something.
Okay.
True about making your plot/characters movable
Yeah,
and adaptable. But if someone who has
Who by habit did too
Yeah,
much
we do it.
pre-prep for my game, it's hard to let. Yeah.
Big pain.
Sometimes.
Big pain. That's why I
Um,
have a book of things I come back to in new games.
But
no it's characters, even
My-
dungeons.
Even
my plus. What did I say as a plus? Yeah, I mean, you guys did a very good job of interacting with the NPCs as always. Like it was it was very good on that part. Negative.
I'm really good at interacting with you, baby.
Yeah, I honestly everything was pretty much
Wait for you to.
solid. Except for like at the beginning, and I understand why you did it, but at the beginning when it was like that's a negative right away, it was like okay, we can keep that for the one off, the table, or not the one off, but the table.
Yeah, I get that.
And but other than that, like, what would I?
Don't pull random rules on me.
Yeah. No, you got it. I got you. Hey, it wasn't random. It's 2 times. That's not.
I did not intend to offend you.
No.
I was trying to joke. I was like, oh, like I just.
Yeah. I totally got that. It was just like, yeah, you know.
Sometimes it hurts.
It just hurts. It's like,
Sometimes it just
hurts. I'm sensitive. Make a story.
Are you a man showing emotions? Disgusted.
But no.
We're playing D&D.
Yeah.
A game that requires you to have emotions.
No.
No. Excuse me. My stat says that my willpower means
but in
that I don't
terms
feel
of-
things.
My thing that I want to see more of is, I mean, yeah,
More
just
boy.
more, just more continued like asking questions and being involved. It's just, you know, it's just the stuff that we always do. It's been good otherwise. So cool, sweet. Do we even have time for do you?
We can do a quick poll.
Quick bowl. Yeah, quick bowl. Chris isn't allowed to answer.
Yeah, we can't let Chris answer, unfortunately.
No, I'll just be last. You can just.
Oh,
cut
this is
me
a fun
off.
one. Monster that you haven't seen in a game that you want to see in a game.
I got one. Lenorm.
Dude, I have like
Linworm?
20.
Lenorm.
Lenorms?
Have not seen a Lenorm, and every time I see them in the book, I go, holy damn, these things are cool.
Yeah, Lenorms are
They're
sick.
just a bit too high level, and, you know, we never get up to high level, so.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Go ahead.
Lich.
What? We haven't done liches in years.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess. Yeah. I remember I used to have liches in my games all the time. I loved liches.
But like,
I mean, I always have liches in the background. We just
The
never
only
did
lich
them.
I can think of is the one from the first game I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lich in a game in a million years.
the only,
Wasn't there a lich in his game?
yeah,
Year and a half?
but I essentially not in the year and a half, but there was one in his Pathfinder
Yeah,
2 game,
yeah.
which only existed because I made.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Nice.
That didn't even feel like a real lich
No.
though.
It never showed
Yeah,
up.
because
Joke lich,
it
different.
really showed on the very end.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he showed up right at the end. He was
Right.
a joke lich. But he became a real lich.
I'll be real. A beholder.
Yeah.
I've never had a beholder in a game. I've never
Not trademark
fought.
Pathfinder.
I thought you did. I thought there was that. I remember hearing stories from Dan about a game that you did with. It was a 2-player game, and there was a beholder. I think that Braden. It was
It was
you.
It was me and Braden
Oh.
because we were like
No.
detectives.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
No,
It wasn't
no,
Seth.
no.
It was
That
you
was
and Braden with Dan as
Dan,
the
yeah.
DM because I remember
Yeah,
hearing
'cause I
stories
think
about a beholder.
You've never
in
encountered a
games.
beholder
Yeah.
in the
We
adult
had to
games.
solve
I've
mysteries
encountered
before the
one
Scooby Kids.
Yeah.
in the adult games.
That was it.
It sucked.
I love I think that they're really fascinating. I've
Oh, they're
always
great.
loved them. I've always wanted to make one like a main villain for a game. I think they're cool. I think they're super fascinating. For the the D&D IP, I think they're great. So
Anxiety-driven ball of eyes.
yeah.
Mind flayers.
Yeah.
We've never actually played with mind flayers. We've
Nope.
never had them in a game. Never
Never.
fought them. Never encountered
Really?
their hides. Nothing.
Nope.
I've always wanted to encounter it in a game because it's so
once.
creepy and cool.
Once.
Was it?
I don't think I was
it
in
was
the
it was that 3.0 game where everyone but Braden died and came back as half dragons.
That was my game.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
I
it
remember
was.
that.
Yes,
That's why you
I
looked
did.
confused.
I thought I had some
Yeah.
mind
That-
flayers. I was sure.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
the
I've
one
never,
time I can think
I've
about.
never encountered mind flayers in D&D.
Interesting.
I've always wanted to. I
It's
just
super
think
interesting.
they'd be such a great mini villain story arc.
Yeah.
Of just like, mind flayers showed up and took all our villagers. Oh God, help!
Yeah.
Everyone just doesn't have brains for some reason.
Yeah,
They
it's
feel
weird.
weird. Something's in their head.
Sometimes I see tentacles. And...
Yeah, my players are sick. Yeah, super fun. Weird, psychic.
Yeah, mine isn't necessarily this creature specifically, but just more things kind of like it. Because I find that this is a very low John's rating creature. It's called the Dire Corby. I don't know what a normal Corby is. I've yet to find one.
Is it a bird?
It is this hulking bird monstrosity thing. CR1. It's just I think it just makes some
Definitely
more
not.
kind of like diversity with these like low level.
Less goblins, more
Goblins and orcs.
variety.
Yeah, it's like this thing just has okay HP, does a little bit of damage, and yeah, it's just this
Like,
big
oh, it's boring.
flightless, hulking, jumping bird.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
like that.
that's a good point.
Is that a Pathfinder specific creature?
Well,
Yeah.
I was
going to
bring up
but it
almost
is.
close on that because it's about mid-level. Is Fae.
Oh, yeah,
Very rarely do we
fairies.
ever use
Yeah,
use
just
Fae,
period,
like
yeah.
actually having them be like a civilization of Fae or a village or a small camp or anything. It's normally just one Fae shows up and goes, hey, and then runs away, and that's all we have.
We're very good at I noticed we're very good at going low fantasy. Here's a shit ton of high fantasy things. Just
we never do low fantasy.
yeah,
we
like
say
to,
we do.
We like
but
to say
never
we do, and then make characters for low fantasy. But then the game immediately just goes like, and there's a dragon, and then there's giant spiders.
Now, I think a part of that has to do with the systems and games that we're playing in. I mean, how much of a Pathfinder game can you have without a certain level of magic? Like even when you
entire
play
one. Yeah, an
PCs,
entire
you
one.
can, but even the PCs. I mean, I had like a semi no magic game at one point.
Well, they have a little part in one of the books that literally goes, "This is how you do it in Magic Pathfinder."
Yeah.
Fae
Fae
are too
are
chaotic.
so
Yeah.
so chaotic.
That's the fun
Yes.
part, though.
Hello, me, it's me, the gnome. The real gnome.
You want to talk about that? You want to talk about
Chaos.
Is that not the noise of
I think
chaos?
that's just.
Yes.
I get what you're saying, but I think that's a DM choice, right? It comes down to the DM.
right.
I don't think it's on the system. I think it's on the DM. Because like
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I think a part of it is that the system and all of the things surrounding it, you know, D&D or Pathfinder, these D20 systems that we're so used to, lend themselves so well, and there's so much good information on those things that to use none of it is, I don't know. Yeah, you're right though.
I still
It
think
is-
that's on. Yeah,
It is.
That's not the
DM
system's fault.
dependent.
but-
Yeah, I think it's actually fairly easy to avoid magic because a lot of times we never receive magic in games.
Yeah.
We never, as players, unless we play as a magic user, we don't get items. I make it a point in my games now to like make sure that players get access to magic items
Well, you're supposed to.
because a lot of times we just don't. And
It's true.
It's thinking about it. It's so easy to. It's actually incredibly easy just to go. Oh, the players are leveling up. Now we just fight more humanoids with weapons that are
Yeah.
higher CR.
Yeah.
Now
Send
they
a
have
bear
levels.
at them. Just a bear.
like-
Bears are terrifying.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, just for magic items specifically.
And it can still be.
creatures, giants.
It can still be done. I think it's just like like you were saying, the Pathfinder. There's so many like bestiaries and books that invoke so much amazing images in your head that make that. There's no way you could not use cool monsters and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
you
it has
see
to be
them
an
now.
active choice. It definitely. Does.
But within that, it's like technically The Witcher is low fantasy, but there's still magic. Pretty. You know,
Witcher's mid.
common, right? Like
It's mid fantasy. It's
Witcher's
not
not low fantasy.
Yeah, low
No,
fantasy
it's-
is like
Witcher's
somebody
literally-
saw a dragon 300 years ago. We don't know if it's true.
yeah, but
That's
here's
low
the thing. That's
fantasy.
the see, but things like that in stories are Chekhov's guns. The whole point
Yeah.
of people saying that, oh, we've never
I
seen
know.
a dragon for 300 years is because
Okay,
you're
right.
about to see a dragon.
But I'm not talking about a storybook. I'm talking about a game.
But even still,
yeah.
but I mean, that's how I mean.
But
there
that's
is
the
a
point. Is
certain
like
amount,
you know
yeah.
you're not going to encounter a magical creature in the woods in a low fantasy game, unless it's a special thing or it's unique or maybe you're stronger.
Or it might be a big thing that there is
Yeah.
a magical
Yeah.
creature in this woods.
Exactly, because like low fantasy is supposed to be magic is rare.
Yeah.
It's not common. You don't find it in every village. You almost never find it.
Or to the point that you were saying.
Not
about,
low
like,
fantasy builds for characters, by the way. We're talking about low fantasy magic.
Yeah, or just kind of to the point you were making with the Chekhov's gun of there may be a dragon up in the hills. It might also just not be a dragon. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe it's a
like,
Komodo dragon.
or
Literally a dragon, but not
or,
actually a dragon.
It's just a dire Komodo
Yeah, it's a dire Komodo dragon.
I can't
It's a dragon! Watch its fiery breath as it just eats something.
Or it's like, I can't remember. I think it was
Yeah.
the Western game I did where it was like, oh no, there's this ogre that's leading this goblin like tribe or whatnot. Then he went over there and it was just this large set of armor with a goblin like puppeting it inside to make it
Oh, yeah, I
look
forgot
like.
about that.
Oh, that, yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And just like no, there was never actually a thing. It was just to make people scared.
Well, especially in like a fantasy
Oh,
setting.
for
'cause
sure.
Villagers talk.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
most of them aren't very smart.
Yeah. Stuff like that happens all the time.
What do you think real life fantasy is all about?
Yeah, exactly.
The bog creatures, they come at night and steal your children. And it's like,
It's
you
great.
know, that's to make sure that life stays exciting. Why do you think people like spooky
Why do you
things?
think I steal kids at night? And take my mom.
Yeah.
To keep
You're
things
talking about
exciting.
D&D, right?
To keep things exciting.
We know there are bodies.
That's why he was excited to
I'm
move
gonna play
next
a
to a
game in which
school.
we basically started as normal children's in a village, totally level 0 player, or
That would
zero,
be
level
a
0 player.
pretty
It was a unique
cool
experience.
That's cool. We tried that. I remember it didn't. We didn't play it very well.
Yeah,
It kind of went. It kind of went. Here's a mentor character that's way too powerful, and like,
Which
it
one-
didn't work.
Which game was
It
that?
really didn't work.
I remember trying something like that years and years ago. It was like, yeah, no, you guys are like in training, so you're level 0, whatever NPC class, and then
I
it
can't
just
remember who DM'd.
it
I
got
think it was
awkward.
you, wasn't it?
We've done a couple like
We have done a
comics.
couple of those, yeah.
Remember Reese did one at one point.
Right.
I think that's
I remember
where
hearing
the
about
mentor
that
character
one.
came from.
Yeah,
I don't remember who DM'd at all.
I think so.
But yeah, we've tried it. We're not very good at it.
I mean, we could try. It's been a hot minute.
It has
You
been
know
a hot
what we're
minute.
really good at though? Playing really high level things. We've done well doing really high level a lot. I remember my first really high level game was DM'd by Reese, and it was sweet because I played a Astral Diva angel lady who was fucking like gave no shits, like that asshole lawful good, you know? And it was dope.
Yeah.
Fought a demon in a first blood match for my soul and won because someone buffed me.
You know,
Don't tell them.
that's something that's super fun that we rarely ever do is just straight up monster games.
Monster game.
Not even like the point of being evil, but just like don't be human.
Yeah, it's a Minotaur village or something,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah, like maybe I could play my half ogre, half minotaur character that I did one
Yeah.
time, which was an absolute beast.
And maybe it's a village of corgis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that didn't work. That didn't
Well,
work.
it became a one-off that didn't take off. Yeah.
That was another instance.
The only
of,
issue I had with that one was
setting
humans in your
change.
corgi game. Like, what are you doing, man? We left the Feywoods. Like, what?
Yeah, like-
should have stayed in there.
Yeah, it was supposed to be this noble, bright adventure of these corgis needing to.
What happened? What even did it?
We
Session
got to
one-
the farm. We had a session, then we just stopped playing.
Yeah, we
So
got
nothing really.
we
Yeah,
got the
nothing
farm,
really.
did some memes, met a dude who told us that we had to go to the kingdom, and it was like a wholesome adventure. While we were also like considering like killing someone.
Yeah.
And
Well, then we're like, wait, this is not what this
Well,
doesn't
wait, it was session 1 we fought a dragon.
That was
Session
wild.
2 we went to a farm and
There was people.
people.
Yeah, it was
just
just
people,
real
but-
people who were just like, oh my god, you're dogs. That's not right. And we're like, what do you mean? This is the
Corgi.
norm."
Yeah,
And
we're
just,
dogs.
yeah, just we left this.
Oh yeah, it was Corgi. That's who I was.
Yeah,
Right.
just we-
Borkin.
Yeah, Lord Wafflestack.
Oh, I don't even remember what my name was.
Yeah, we just left this
I remember-
mystical, fantastical woods on our epic get that thing the dragon stole from the village back quest till we entered kind of the real world, and you're like, what?
He's like, wait a minute.
Man, I'm smoking some crazy weed. I'm seeing humans.
I just remember Nick's character because he was Cornelius, and that was
Yes.
the best name ever.
Cornelius.
I don't remember Nick in that. I remember
He was.
Oh no,
Nick was in
no, sorry. I was thinking about the gods thing, and you were the dog.
I was
Yeah,
that was
that's
an
different.
actual corgi with brain powers.
That was wild.
That was a
that
great
was
game.
fun.
That
Yeah,
was a fun game.
I think our best max level game was that we played a Savage Worlds. We're just like crazy kitted. Savage Worlds lends itself really well to customization,
Yes.
and you can flavor
Makes it so
how
easy.
Savage Worlds works. Is if powers or spells you can flavor however you want. So it just says bolt, and you choose what kind of bolt it is. You're like, is it a necrotic bolt? Is it a flaming bolt? Whatever, laser beam. And so we just we literally just got to make gods that were fighting for the center of the universe, and it was great.
It was
very
pretty
fun.
amazing.
Yeah. That was fun. It was good.
Good times.
Got to be a floating dog who enslaved
It was
the
just
entire
orange.
human
Or is a
race.
gang of kobolds or owl bears? That'd be
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Just all owlbears.
I've always wanted to
bunch
play
of
as an
Ettins
owl
or
bear.
owlbears.
Owlbears are like-
two players playing one Ettin.
That would be. How would you even? That would be hilarious.
Well, Ettins control each half.
Yeah,
That'd be
they
pretty
have
pog.
to decide.
yeah,
like,
that would
what's
be
going
pretty
on.
hilarious.
All right, Chris, we're gonna go back to the original days of us playing D&D together. Where we always made opposite characters.
You know what? I feel like that's the
Accident.
perfect pairing right there for an Ettin.
Yeah, two and one of them is a barbarian, the other is a wizard.
Is that Ogre Magi?
That's a pretty standard.
Pretty much an Oni.
It's like, can you stop it? I'm trying to cast.
I need both hands to cast.
See, no, we gotta
Constantly
do.
needing to make the concentration check for like rapid movement.
Yeah, I want to do barbarian rogue. One half's just like, oh, listen here, we're gonna sneak in, we're gonna do our thing, and then there's just like,
He's
That's
Gork and
awesome.
Mort.
Yeah.
Cunning
Yeah.
but brutal. Brutal but cunning.
I kind of just prefer Barbarian and Gardener.
Gardener. It's better to be a gardener.
Because it's not like the player wouldn't be in the
battlefield
fights.
than a
He's still in the
barbarian in a
fight.
garden.
Oh,
He's
please.
just
I
doesn't
want,
want
I want
it.
to tend to my garden, and we shall water the flowers with the blood of our enemies.
Exactly. No, blood kills the plants.
It ends up there. You just have like. They have like skulls as like plant pots, like people's
That's
heads.
hilarious.
They just
I
stuff
love it.
plants
I
in
love
there.
it.
If I can't have my ceramics, I'll use your heads.
This is a good boy.
This is a good boy who needs to happen.
We've just been coming up with some pretty good boys lately.
Yeah.
And it's all recorded, so we can't lose these ideas. Safe.
Forever.
Quick. After last game, we talked about the assassin Acadian Keelian who forces everyone to party.
Oh! It's on record now!
Yeah,
Yes!
it's on record.
Yep. Whenever
party
someone
assassin.
Whenever someone tries to leave, he just has his little whistle thing. Just,
And to specify, he looks like Letho from Witcher 2. He looks
Yeah.
exactly like Letho.
That made me I'm glad we talked about that.
Yeah, that was a great,
Awesome.
great
just
idea.
quick. He exists forever now.
Yeah,
Yeah. How y'all
the
feeling?
party goer.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm satisfied.
Carol, thank you for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Part
seeing
2
you,
went
Carol.
for almost another hour.
Thanks for talking with us, man.
Yeah.
And we will see you on Friday.
Yeah. More D&D.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
He did it.